Hi, welcome back to Hot Topics TV, y'all. Y'all already know if the topic is hot, we're on it. Robert Crimo, or Crimo III, is an aspiring rapper who is considered a person of interest in a mass shooting on a 4th of July parade in Highland Park, Illinois, where his family has deep ties. The 21-year-old was detained by police several hours after the shooting and was taken into custody by nearby Lake Forest Police Department. Eglis tweeted about 6:45 p.m. local time. Officers in North Chicago spotted the vehicle that he was driving in and they tried to pull him over. He fled, and the police were able to eventually apprehend him and get him into custody. The shooting happened about 6 miles away from Highland Park at the start of the parade, about 10:15 a.m. Just giving you a timeline of how it all went down. There's been a lot of mass shootings in the U.S. Of lately, especially in 2022. And it's kind of like not the time to be outside without keeping your head on a swivel, as we would say in the military. You know, DNA of the rifle Crimo is accused of abandoning at the scene of the crime allowed authorities to identify him. They got a hit on his DNA that quick. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm not a DNA expert, but I've never seen them able to. Oh, I've only seen this in the movies. I've never seen them able to pick up a rifle from a crime scene, match it to a suspect like immediately, while the crime is in action, and get an identity and go after that person. But that's beautiful to know that that can be done. Crimo also goes by the name Bobby Crimo. Well, maybe he is in the system and maybe he has a record already. So he's also known as Bobby Crimo. A social media trail for Crimo has emerged, showing weaponry and an obsession with mass shootings. In 2019, he shared a random video with President Donald Trump's motorcade. Crimo, whose music was recorded under the name Awake. Asleep, Awake. His music was recorded under the name Awake, the rapper. Was also photographed at a Donald Trump rally. Another picture actually shows him with a Trump flag around his shoulders. That came from a Twitter page he used called @awake.rep. Now, there are people out there that are saying he was far left, and in other words, he was Democratic, and he was only mocking the Republican Party, and he was only mocking the Make America Great Again slogan, and he was only mocking Donald Trump. But it's not true. He is actually a huge Trump supporter. He is a big MAGA supporter, Make America Great Again. He is very much all the way to the right. Crimo, who's 21 years old, was believed to be driving a 2010 silver Honda Fit vehicle. His Illinois plate was DM80653, authorities said before he was captured. Now, some of his video shows him in a school setting. This is a screenshot from a video that was posted on his now suspended Twitter page, and it shows him in a school setting. I don't know if he was thinking of shooting up a school at first, and he was giving a warning, but thank God he didn't shoot up a school. Read a roundup of victims here. They include two parents, Erna and Kevin McCarthy, whose son Aiden is 2 years old, and Aiden was at the scene with his parents and was found by strangers wandering around the parade. Now, I should tell you that over $1 million has been raised in GoFundMe so far to support little Aiden because he just got orphaned at this shootout. Could you imagine, right? It's 4th of July. A couple decides to take their baby out, their little 2-year-old out, and they're going to go enjoy the local parade. And then a mass shooting takes place, and both parents are killed. And the baby is left walking the streets, wandering, and is picked up by strangers. Just giving you again an idea of what took place. A GoFundMe was set up for little Aiden, and over $1 million has been given so far. The last time I saw it, it was, yes. So in July 4th, new conference, or I might be wrong. I might have to check myself on that. I think when I saw it, it said the goal was $100,000, not $1 million. I'm sorry. And when I saw it last night, it was already at 777,000. That's what it was, not $1 million. And I correct. The goal on GoFundMe was $100,000, and they had already collected $777,000 when I saw it last, right? But I'm misspeaking because the situation is terrible. If you could imagine what I just described to you, so the goal should have been $1 million, and I wouldn't mind seeing it go to $1 million. That poor child, 2 years old, lost on the streets, both parents dead. It's just horrible. Now, in July 4th news conference, Officer Chris O'Neill said that the mass shooting was an active shooter incident that was random in nature. O'Neill described the suspect as a white male between the ages of 18 and 20 with longer black hair, a small belt, and he was wearing a white or blue t-shirt, carrying an AR-15 style firearm, was discovered at the scene. The AR-15 was discovered at the scene. It was later reported that AR-15 was legally acquired, meaning he walked into a store, he purchased it through legal means, and it is registered to him through state records. In a news conference on July 5th, authority revealed that Crimo, the suspected shooter, will face 7 counts of first-degree murder. Damn. In addition to other charges. And they upped the count of those that were dead and those that were wounded to a total of 45 victims. 45 people were shot. 7 have died. The victims were, and there's a long list of names, Catherine Goldstein, which is 64 years old, Irina McCarthy, which is 35, and Kevin McCarthy, the couple, which is 37, leaving their 2-year-old to wander the streets. Jacqueline Soundheim, which is 63, Stephen Strauss, which is 88, all of Highland Park, and Nicholas Toledo, which is 78, of Morelos, Mexico. A 7th victim has not been named as yet. Besides the couple that are in their 30s, he killed senior citizens. The youngest of was 63 years old, Jacqueline Soundheim. Everybody else was like 88 years old and 78 years old. Authorities also revealed that Crimo fired more than 70 rounds, 70 rounds, while perched on a rooftop. It's safe to say he was no marksman. It's safe to say he was no military-trained individual, weapons expert, firing 70 rounds, hitting 45 people. That's half of the rounds he fired did hit somebody. And out of that 45 that he did hit, it says that 5 have died, 7 have died. So that's to give you an idea of how poor of a shooter he was. However, these were lives that were lost. These weren't flies that were swatted out of the air, so it's that serious. Authorities also revealed that Crimo fired more than 70 rounds while he was perched on a rooftop. Then he fled the scene. After he finished the shooting, they said he dressed himself as a woman, walked to his mother's house, and then took her car, driving to Madison, Wisconsin, before returning to the Chicago area. Police said that they don't believe that his mom knew what he was doing, or that he had staged an attack on the parade. Authorities also revealed that they had gone to his house in 2019 one time for a suicide attempt. Police also were warned by family members that he had knives and that he threatened to kill everybody in the house, and that they took 16 knives, a sword, and a dagger from the residence, but his family members did not want to press charges on him. Despite that incident, Crimo was issued a FOID car, a FOID car, allowing him to purchase firearms. He purchased as many as 4 of them for legally from Chicago area dealers. Crimo used the AR-15 style rifle for the parade attack. Authorities still do not have a motive, but believe that Crimo pre-planned his attack for several weeks before he actually carried it out at the parade. Now here's the thing. This whole, people have been saying, right, for one, there's no reason why civilians need a AR-15 style rifle, a military grade weapon, for hunting or for any other reason at all. No civilian should have one of those. So they've been trying to get the guns, those guns in particular, banned. However, you have people on the other side who are saying it's their constitutional right to bear arms in case the government rises up against the people. What if one morning you wake up and you're surrounded and your own government is trying to herd us into concentration camps? So people are paranoid and they're like, no, you're not going to disarm us, because then we're like sheeps. We're sitting sheeps. And when you come to do whatever you want to do to us, we won't be able to defend ourselves. So they have slogans like, come get it. Come get our guns. I dare you to come get it. Because we're shooting to the last round. That kind of stuff. It's a pretty thick kind of a standoff, right? So, and then, of course, with all these other mass shootings, people are also saying that getting a gun, especially a type of gun like that, should be a more strenuous process, a more vetted process. Somebody needs to be doing some kind of a psychological check on an individual. As you can see clearly, they have a record of this young man, Crimo, actually threatening to commit suicide. Police had to be called, and also threatening to murder all his family members. Police had to be called, right? A person like this probably should have never been allowed the right to own a gun, let alone multiple firearms. And of course, here's the result, right? A couple of things you might want to know. 4 things. 1, his family has long ties to Highland Park, where he did the shooting. His father ran for mayor, and the current mayor of Highland Park was his Cub Scout leader. Got it. Crimo's uncle told CNN that Crimo lived in an apartment behind his parents' house after losing his job at Panera during the pandemic. So he used to work at Panera. According to Fox News, the current mayor of Highland Park, Nancy Rotering, was Crimo's Cub Scout leader, and said he was just a little boy then, she told Fox News. Crimo's father, Bob, is a small business owner who ran unsuccessfully, though, for Highland Park mayor in 2019. The city is described as an affluent northern Chicago suburb on Lake Michigan. In other words, people on that side have money. Okay, people on that side are well-to-do, affluent. Crimo's mother, Denise's LinkedIn page lists her as a holistic health practitioner. In a bio, the elder Crimo, which is the father of, described himself as a self-employed at Bob's Pantry and Deli, and this will be my first time in office as a person for the people. Though I have no prior experience in political office, Bob's Pantry and Deli, that means he runs a restaurant or of sorts, a pantry and deli. And, you know, his slogan was that he has no prior experience in politics, but he is running for the people and he has long-standing ties with the city and he knows what the people need. The dad described himself as a local small business owner, and I see how the downtown business district is becoming more distressed as time goes on, he said. We need to take a hard look at Highland Park's many ordinances, rules, and regulations. Crimo's father wrote that he was self-employed since 1990 due to his ownership of the White Hen in Racina and Bob's Pantry and Deli in Braeside. So he owns two businesses. After his mayoral loss, Crimo's dad wrote on his Facebook page that this has been a great experience. I cannot thank my supporters enough. Although the polls weren't in our favor, I will continue to do my best to further the improvement of Highland Park for my fellow neighbors. Thank you all so much again. An obituary for Crimo's grandfather, Robert Bob Crimo Sr., who passed away at 88 years old of Highwood, says that the family has long ties to Highland Park. The first Robert Crimo was described as a great family man who was always there for his family and who was survived by his son Bob Jr. and 5 grandchildren, including Bobby Crimo III. Crimo III parents Bob Jr. and Denise were listed as living in Highland Park. Journalists captured the carnage at the parade. One person said hashtag bloodbath. The shooting report unfolded just before 11 a.m. and Fox News reporters were reporting that there were multiple people who were feared dead. Get this, he was also a rapper. A YouTube video had emerged in which he referred to himself as a sleepwalker, walking blindly into the night. That was kind of pretty telling. That YouTube video was actually deleted after the mass shooting. It said, like a sleepwalker, I know what I have to do. The narrator in the video was speaking, which was Crimo. I know what this is, not only for me, but for everyone else. There is no past or future, but just now. It is not abstract, just I can ever imagine. Listen, let me let you hear some of this, okay? I'll just play a little part of it, and then we'll go back to finishing up on what he was about. So listen to about a minute of this. Here we go. Let's see. Right there.
Like a sleepwalker, I am breaking through no matter what. Like a sleepwalker, unable to stop and think. My actions will be valiant, and my thought is unnecessary. I know what I have to do. I know what's in it, not only for me, but for everyone else. Where am I going? I don't know. I don't care. There is no past or future, just the now.
Okay, so that video was put up, and then, it was taken down right after the shooting because it sounds like that was a manifesto to me. It sounds like a warning as to what he was going to do. In other words, these people that got killed, they might be suing the city because there's a warning, a manifesto online. There's also, and he also had posted stuff like videos of Donald Trump landing at the airport and stuff like, the flag with the blue line, support for law enforcement, Blue Lives Matter, etc., etc. He was that type of a person. He also had a manifesto. One man says that the manifesto was 28 pages long and is composed entirely of an undeciphered sequence of numbers. If you notice, he has the number 47 tattooed to the side of his face. The numbers 23 and 115 seem to have significant meanings in decoding his manifesto. However, his manifesto remains unsolved, uncoded. Nobody actually really knows what all that means. He's a rapper. He was doing pretty well. He has songs that has millions of streams on Spotify, and I hear some people saying like he was disappointed because his rap life failed, he failed to become famous or whatever, he probably could have made it. He really probably could have made it as a rapper or as a musician. However, we'll never know that now because he's going to prison. But we should talk more about this because we should talk about how he got captured safe and sound after killing so many people and harming so many others. And, we beg to ask a question like, if he was, would the outcome have been the same? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this one. I'll catch you on the next video. It's Hot Topics TV. You already know if the topic is hot, we're on it. I'm out. Peace.